Today I'm going to bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The Summer of Superheroes continues, and in this episode, I'm paying tribute to the King of Atlantis himself, Aquaman. This is an Aquaman Comic Hero tee, and inside the speech bubble, if you can see clear enough, or clearly enough, rather, apologies to all every English teacher I've ever had. If you can see clearly enough, you can see the chainmail that represents his famed costume, and then also have the Aquaman logo on the sleeves, and to go along with it, this trident and this Aquaman hat. Now, this received the most votes out of two shirts that were voted on. The other one is the Spider-Gwen Comic Hero tee. I'm going to wear that on episode 266. But if you would like your own Aquaman Comic Hero tee, I will gladly make one for you. The price is $17. Now, Aquaman has been a character that has been completely ridiculed throughout the years. I mean, it's been said that the only thing that he can do is breathe underwater and talk to fish. Well, because he's half Atlantean and half human, he can do so much more than that. He can't just, breathe underwater and talk. And he can't breathe underwater as well as air. But he also he doesn't exactly talk to fish. He has a telepathic link to all sea life, not just fish. It can be sharks, whales, walruses, seahorses, crabs, lobsters, you name it, and it lives under the sea. He has a telepathic link to all of them. And Jeff Johns, when the New 52 got started back in 2011, he wrote the Aquaman series, and just the way he told it was fantastic. And every writer after him, especially Jeff Parker and Dan Abnett, have pretty much picked up where John's left off, and the character has gone nowhere but up. And also, Jason Momoa playing the character briefly in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice, and also in Justice League, and the unbelievable James Wan directed Aquaman movie that came out last Christmas. I went to see that movie. I was super impressed. It's been out on DVD for a while now, and I want to buy it and watch it all over again. All right, now because there's this is an odd number episode, I'm not going to give away a free tee, but I'm going to let you know what the question is for a free tee. True or false? The same gods who give Shazam his powers are the same gods that give Black Adam his powers. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee on episode 266. Now, D'Angelo Ballou for Youngstown, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this features two divine characters. And sometimes the word divine is putting it lightly in their cases. Representing DC, we have Michael Demirgos. And also representing DC, we have the Presence. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
The Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's Michael Demirgos versus the Presence. Michael Demirgos possesses creation, omnipotence, omniscience, nigh omni-divine powers, and immortality. The Presence possesses omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, and immortality. Who would win? This fight wouldn't last long at all. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't even start. The Presence would already know that Demirgos is out to fight him, so he just strips some of his powers as soon as he arrives. You see, the Presence also has the ability to empower various angels. Demirgos, unfortunately, happens to be one of them. This infuriates Demirgos, and he demands the Presence to return his powers. The Presence instead shanks him in the midsection with Demirgos' sword. the presence wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight. I'll have a fight for episode 267. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are three things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is the news of a Daredevil reboot and a new Marvel series coming called Heroes for Hire. Now this comes after, this really came right after all the Marvel shows, Luke Cage, Daredevil, The Defenders, and Jessica Jones were all canceled by Netflix. They tried to bring all four shows and renew them on the soon streaming Disney Plus, but unfortunately things didn't really work out and all the actors backed out of their contracts. So now, because of this, they're going to have to start from scratch. Now, some folks think that this might have to do with what's his name, Mahershala Ali being casted in the Blade reboot, and that's not the case. This has to do mainly because all four actors, didn't want to deal with all that drama, so they decided to go elsewhere. But all four of these actors, Mike Coulter, Kristen Ritter, Charlie Cox, John Bernthal, I applaud y'all. Y'all did a wonderful job playing the roles of Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. And much success to y'all. And some of them one of them has immediately found a new role. And of course, I'm talking about Mike Coulter, who's going to be starring in a new CBS series called Evil, which comes this fall. And I just hope Marvel just knows what they're doing. But here's my thing about, at the show Heroes for Hire. That's what the Defenders should have been called in the first place. Because when you think of the Defenders, you don't think of Luke Cage, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist. You think of characters like the Silver Surfer, the Hulk, and Doctor Strange. Heroes for Hire, that's pretty much in the avenue of especially of Luke Cage and Iron Fist. And I just hope Marvel can bounce back. And I don't, and especially from three great shows that were on Netflix, especially Luke Cage. I enjoyed especially the first season of Luke Cage. Holy cow, what a ride that was. All right, now the second thing is the news of a sequel to Doctor Strange entitled Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And of course, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be reprising his role as the Sorcerer Supreme, but he's not going to be alone. Another character that we've seen first in Avengers: Age of Ultron, all the way through Avengers Endgame, and that's Elizabeth Olsen reprising her role as the Scarlet Witch. So you have magic. You have twice the magic. I mean, how can you beat that? And then they're going to be going like in alternate dimensions, alternate universes. I mean, I just hope this is. I just know for a fact this movie is going to be great because the first Doctor Strange movie was amazing. I love Cumberbatch's portrayal of the character, and also I don't care what anyone says. I love Elizabeth Olsen's portrayal of the Scarlet Witch, and I think it's going to be great. Now the last thing. Now there are going to be 6 X-Men books that are launching after House of 10 and Powers of 10. Now if you're probably wondering, Vic, do you need House of X and Powers of X? Well, according to writer Jonathan Hickman, they're actually called Powers of 10 and House of 10, as stated at San Diego Comic-Con a few weeks ago. Now those 6 books are X-Men, Excalibur, Marauders, X-Force, New Mutants, and Fallen Angels. And when I found out all the rosters that are going to be, all the characters that are going to be in this book, I think I may collect all of them. Especially X-Men. Now X-Men, I can tell you all who's going to be on that book. It's going to be Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Havoc, Corsair, in other words, Cyclops and Havoc's father, Prestige, and believe it or not, Vulcan. In other words, Cyclops and Havoc's brother, long lost brother, will be part of this book, and I cannot wait for that to come out. Just like I just can't wait for these other 5 books to come out. I haven't even read the first House of 10 rather. I'm sorry, House of 10. My apologies to Jonathan Hickman and Marvel. I haven't even read the first issue of House of 10. Powers of 10 just came out, and I can't wait to read these books. I can't wait to see what Hickman is doing with the characters. I mean, this is another milestone event for the Merry Mutants. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
All right, first up is Wonder Woman number 74. Venom number 16. Thor number 15. Superman number 13. Miles Morales Spider-Man number 8. The Flash number 74. Avengers number 21. The Amazing Spider-Man number 25. And finally, Supergirl number 32. All right, that's 9, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 9,476. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Here's a question for a free tee for episode 266, which is the next episode. True or false? The gods that give Shazam his powers are the same gods that give Black Adam his powers. Everyone who answers correctly been in a drawing on that episode. And speaking of shirts, on the next episode, I'm going to wear a Spider-Gwen comic hero tee because that received the least amount of votes between that tee and this tee that I'm wearing. And again, if you want your own Aquaman comic hero tee, the price is $17, no matter what size. In a few weeks, it's going to be GeekCon. It's going to be at the Shreveport Convention Center in downtown Shreveport. I'm going to try to get out there because I really had a lot of fun when I was there last year. And then also, the lineup of guests are going to be great. We're going to have, LeVar Burton is going to be there. Kevin Nash is going to be there. My good friend Roland Paris is going to be there. And just about 2/3 of the cast of Dragon Ball Super are going to be there. I mean, most of the voice actors are going to be there. Like Cynthia Kranz is going to be there. Sonny Strait is going to be there. And then also the former voice of Bulma, Tiffany Bulmer, will be there as well. and also Michael Rooker, who played Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxies 1 and 2, will be there as well. And gonna be a lot of great vendors there. I may even try to buy some action figures and pop vinyls to add to my collection. But here's the one misconception that a lot of folks make about the pop vinyls or in the action figures. I don't just buy any of them. I usually buy them according to what books I read. As you can see right here, I have the Flash. I read the Flash. Then I have Spider-Man because I read Amazing Spider-Man and Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Then I have Ghost Rider because I read the Avengers, and the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider is a member. Then Iron Man because I read Tony Stark Iron Man. Captain America because I read Captain America, and so forth. I mean, that's just the way I do it. But I just don't like buy whatever I see. I buy action figures and pop vinyls the same way I buy comics. Alright, I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next time for episode 266. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero! No, I looked at the camera. Dang it. Welcome to this edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and in this episode, I'm wearing an Aquaman Comic Hero tee because that received the more vote. Welcome to this edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and on this episode, I'm wearing an Aquaman Comic Hero tee. Now, this is what it looks like. Oh, no. Alright, there are three things I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is the news of a Daredevil reboot. Now, all the actors that were on Charlie Cox, Charlie Puth,